Yo, my name is Moses Omindo, and I'm a counseling psychologist. I'm a mental health coach. I'm a mental health activist, and that's my line of work, my career, and what I feel is my purpose. So today I want, first, before I even proceed, I just want to say that I opened this channel purposely for imparting motivational messages, which I hope is going to resonate with someone listening. You know, it doesn't have to resonate with all of you, but I'm sure to someone listening, it could be a word of upliftment. It could be a word of hope. It could be, something that somebody has been looking for. You know, probably you're having existential questions. You've been having those questions that you are looking for an answer. That probably what I'll say or what I'll be sharing here is going to be answering those questions. And so I ask you to just spare me the little time that you have in this regards, and let us get to use this platform to interact in terms of uplifting and motivating each other. Life, as we know it, is inherently challenging. There are always challenges. There's always challenges. As soon as you tackle one challenge, there's always going to be another challenge around the corner that's going to, sometimes frustrate you, sometimes hold you back, sometimes hinder you, sometimes be the one obstacle that is stopping you from getting that what exactly you want. And so we are going to be using this platform purposely for that, to try to encourage each other, because we are on different paths. And by this I mean that, probably you're in a phase in life that you have experienced what I haven't experienced before, and the same applies for me. Probably I'm in a space in life where I am experiencing what, or I have experienced what you haven't experienced before. And so the best we can do for each other is try to hold each other's hands, try to walk each other home, try to be there for each other. So the message that I'm going to share today with you is about using the setbacks and obstacles as the launching pad to our purpose. Using our setbacks and obstacles as the launch pad to our destinies. Using the launch pad, using the setbacks and obstacles that we face. They could be day-to-day obstacles. They could be that one big obstacle that, every like every cycle it keeps turning up. Say you get to the end of the year, there's always that cycle that keeps turning up. There's always that challenge that keeps turning up. This could be in terms of relationship. This could be in terms of the work that you're doing. This could be in terms of the friendships that you have. This could be in terms of your career. This could be in terms of anything. It could be your environment, your community, anything that you're doing. There could be that one setback that keeps holding you back. This one setback is stopping you from doing what you want to do. It's stopping you from becoming the best version of you. It's stopping you from getting what you want to get. It's stopping you from achieving that goal, that huge goal that you've been chasing for a period of time, and it seems to be elusive. This obstacle is the one standing in the way. So, how then do you turn this obstacle in your favor? How then do you turn this hindrance in your favor? How then do you turn whatever it is that is stopping you, whatever it is that is a hindrance to you, how do you turn it in your favor? All right? So, I picked this from a book I was reading called The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. So Ryan comes from the school of Stoic philosophy. Ryan is a good student of philosophy. And so he shares some of the insights that he's garnered over the years doing his research. He shares some of the insights that he's garnered interacting with philosophers from different centuries in the past. And he breaks it down so well that it fits in the context of our modern society. It fits in the context of our day-to-day life. And so what I've understood from Ryan's point of view is just what I shared as I began talking about this, that you might have an insight, you might have it could be a resource that you have, it could be financial resources, it could be just something that you say. For me personally, I'm a counseling psychologist, and that's what I do for work. And I love my work because it helps me to be that person who intervenes in your life whenever you're faced with a stressful situation. It helps me be that person who intervenes in your life whenever you're faced with a mental or emotional situation that you're finding it difficult to handle. You come together and we are able to interact, and we're able to you're able to share what it is that you feel is an hindrance, a pain, a problem in your life, and we are able to look at it from different perspectives. And so I use the skills that I have to help you to see your problem differently and use that problem to your advantage, or be able to see those blind spots that are probably making you to be fixated on that particular problem. So today is I am going to be talking about The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. I feel like I'm in my element because basically I'll be doing just what I do in those therapy rooms. So Rand starts his book by talking about a king who felt that his people had become soft and they had become weak, and they were kind of a bit, can I say, not assertive as they should be, not aggressive towards what they are meant to have or meant to be, in a way that he felt that they have become lackluster. And so he came up with a plot where he put a big obstacle in the way, like a big boulder. So it was this big rock. He placed it on a path where he knows people commonly use, and he hid behind the bushes to see and watch what would happen. So people would come and they would try to find a way around the boulder, and when they couldn't, they would just head back to try and find another way. And so this was a pattern that kept occurring. Um, and and at some point, and the king, much to his disappointment, he observed what he already knew, that his people had become weak and soft, and they didn't have what it takes to kind of like just remove this boulder from the way to, head to their respective destinies. And so one time when he was almost giving up, this old man was, uh, came and he was trying to find a way around the boulder, and he couldn't find any way. But contrary to the other people, sought he tried looking for different means. He looked for a big stick, which he used as a lever to roll down, to roll the boulder off the path, and he did this successfully. And beneath the boulder was a bag of gold coins with a message inside it that, the obstacle has become the way. So let's translate this in in a context where it can be easily understood with regards to that thing that is stopping us from getting or doing whatever it is that we want to do. So in your day-to-day life, I'll just give a typical example. In a day-to-day in your day-to-day life, we have people in a different environments. We have family members who, sometimes we just learn to get along, much as we don't really love or appreciate each other. We just learn to get along, right? And in our day-to-day lives, we have we have friends who, we help each other in one way or another. It could be purposeful friendships, it could be just, social friendship, something social that doesn't have much into it. It could be, you're working towards a goal, and so you form a bond that you could then call purposeful friendships. it could be a transactional friendship where your bond is based on a certain interaction, and by that you build a bond that you can call a friendship. So we have those friendships, and we have work settings where now we have work colleagues, and in these settings there are normally dynamics that test our resolve. These dynamics, sometimes it could be people who by doing some things, they hinder us probably from getting that promotion, they hinder us probably from getting whatever it is that we want to get, they hinder us from doing whatever it is that we want to do. It could be family members, they're hindering us from, in one way or another. It could be, it could be loud and clear that this person is stopping me from doing what I want to do. Or it could be very subtle, somebody sabotaging you, like subtly, very quietly behind the scenes. And so we are being called upon to, sometimes we see these obstacles, and sometimes, the odds are stacked in your favor. Sometimes what you're facing is beyond what you could handle. And so most people, what do? They conform. They coil back. They tend to, they tend to hold themselves back from getting what it is that they want to get. And the message being passed here by Ryan Holiday through his book, The Obstacle is the Way, is that it's very important to find these areas where circumstances beyond our control are holding us back. Circumstances, quote unquote, are beyond our control, are holding us back, and to use these circumstances in our favor, right? For instance, let's talk about, a work situation where you need to, get that pay rise or whatever, and you're the type of person who is timid and you are a bit soft. So what then can you do? The best you can do about it is to, try to work on whatever it is that has been making you timid, right? So having that obstacle is like a challenge for us to change something, to practice a virtue, to, whether it is an act of courage, whether it is being patient, whether it is speaking up, whether it is speaking out, whether it is getting out of our comfort zone, whether it is, you know, being more assertive as we normally should be. It is an opportunity to doing that. And that's the whole idea. That's the whole idea of using that obstacle is the way. And so by doing that, it means you are healing or you are resolving what it is that has been holding you back for years. I was talking to a friend the other day, and I was telling him that sometimes we are in dynamics or relationships or setups that we feel are being toxic to us, and so we tend to try to shield ourselves from these relationships, as it should be, all right. But we should also understand that sometimes it's about stepping up and putting your big boy's pants or your big girl's pants and trying to handle and resolve the situation in the best way we know how, all right. So it's very important, it's very, very important that we reflect deeply on what it is that is holding us back. It's very important that we do this. It's very important to honestly look into that element or that aspect that is holding us back, how it has held us back in the past, and taking charge to eliminate and heal whatever it is that is holding us back. It is very, very important. Because if you don't, somebody said that everywhere that you go, there you are. By that, they meant that you might avoid the situation here where you are at this particular moment and say, this work environment is toxic, this family relationship is toxic, this relationship that I am in is toxic, so I need to find another relationship. Of course, there are those toxic relationships that are not good for you, are not good for you, are not good for you mentally, are not good for you physically, are not good for your physical health, and by this I mean, by staying there more, you might, suffer deadly repercussions like even death. You know, those ones you eliminate. But then there are those that require us to be more out there, more assertive, more in control of who we are, and look into our impulses and look into our reactions and look into how we are as a people and try to find that voice within us to heal, to heal ourselves as opposed to that situation, when you are no longer, when you are unable to, you are no longer able to change the situation. You are always being called to change yourself. So look into how you have been, contributing to a recurring pattern. Look to how you have been contributing to a recurring situation and heal that. That is the whole idea. Look into how you have been been acting, not out of your own volition, but just impulsively, and try to heal that. By healing it, I say, for instance, if you've been, in a situation where probably if you spoke out, if you spoke up, you would have healed the situation, but you're timid, you're silent, and then you know things are just passing you by, which probably if you could have just stepped up, they would have been yours. Sometimes what's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is somebody telling you a no. That's the worst that can happen. And so practicing, knowing what you want in terms of what are your preferences, what are your beliefs, what are your values, where do you draw a boundary, what are your boundaries, what are those things that you hold in high esteem and high value, you know, and so you start, drawing lines in terms of what you're able to do and what you're not able to do with regards to that, and if you don't find these things that I'm trying to highlight here, then those become the obstacle. So it's presented to you in a format that sometimes you might feel and see that the problem is the other person, while in actuality the problem is with you. And if you don't heal that, you'll walk out of that relationship and go into a different relationship and find a recurring pattern. If one partner was toxic to you, what were you doing? How did you get to a point where you see this person is toxic, but you're still there in that relationship? What is it that's making you so desperate to be in that relationship that you're not willing to walk away? What is it that is so desperate that is making you want to be there, as opposed to speaking out of the injustices that you are experiencing in that relationship? Sometimes the problem is just communication. Just communicate. What is it that's holding you back? What is it? Have you tried looking into what is it? Because if you haven't, and you just impulsively walk out of that relationship, that work setting, that environment, that family setup, walk to another, you'll just find similar situations, presented differently. But if you look keenly, it's just a similar situation that has been presented to you. What is it about that is stopping you from getting what you want, what you're supposed, what's actually yours? What is it? What's the price that you're willing to pay to get relief? In that situation that you feel is draining you, what is it that you must say? What is it that you must do to get relief in that situation? What is it? So, if it's a situation that's stopping you from living your best life, how are you allowing it? What's in you that's allowing it? Are you too shy? Are you too timid? Do you find an excuse around those things and then you label it something different? What is it? How do you contribute to that? Because it takes two to tango for you to be in a situation where you can say, oh, I was in this situation for a couple of years and it's been draining and it's been toxic. That means you've been allowing it up until this point. And if you don't look into that and say, okay, at some point I just jump out of this and move into another, the element that was in you that allowed for that injustice to happen in your life is still going to be with you. Remember, wherever you go, there you are. So it's like a mark on your head that you're walking around with. That then, if somebody looks at that mark and probably it's a funny mark and they laugh at it, then it's about why are they laughing at me as opposed to what are they laughing at, you know? And if somebody will say, you have this funny mark on your head, just, remove it. Once you remove it, there's no longer mark on your head. It's an analogy I'm using. But all the same, I know I'm getting my point across. So that situation that you feel is beyond your control. There are people who had less than what you had. There are people who have been in situations worse than yours, and they surmounted and they conquered whatever it is that you feel is an impediment to you. They conquered that. And so here you are, giving excuses, I'm not this race, I'm not that race. I am too short, I'm too tall, I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm too weak, I'm too strong, I'm too this, I'm too that. It's always one excuse after another. I'm waiting for the right time. I'm waiting for this and I'm waiting for that. There's always an excuse. What is it that's stopping you? And so we start somewhere very solid by asking a very clear question. If you had everything you had working in your favor, what would you want to have in your life right now that you feel you're missing? If you had to, if there were no obstacles, where would you be in life? And so, what are these obstacles that are stopping you? And how then can you use these obstacles as a launching pad to get to that which is meant for you? Thank you very much. My name is Moses Sumindo. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.